I took a train that didn't exist. Look, I'm not asking anyone to believe me. I just need to tell this somewhere because lately I'm not sure what's real anymore. If you see a train, a silver one, at a platform where no train should be, don't get on it. It started on an ordinary Thursday night. I I worked late. I was tired. I went down to the station I use every day. Only the lights looked dimmer. The tunnel leading there felt a little too long, and the silence felt too heavy. When I reached the platform, it was completely empty. No passengers, no sound, just a silver train already waiting. I mean, it wasn't on schedule. I checked the board and there was nothing listed, and yet it stood quiet, old, and covered in a faint layer of dust, like it's been pulled out of another era. No logos, no numbers, no lights on the inside. It was just there. The door opened with a long, quiet hiss. I I should have just walked away. I really should have. That's what any smart person would have done. But there was something compelling, like something behind my eyes whispered, "This is your way out." And so I stepped in, and inside the lights were a dim amber, and the air felt still and stale. The seats were a strange red velvet, worn and torn in places. It all smelled like old books and wet wood. The passengers, if you can call them that, didn't look at me. They didn't move. They were dressed wrong. One man wore a bowler hat and a brown tweed suit that looked straight out of the 1920s. A girl that sat across from me, maybe 8 years old, held a doll with no face. Her eyes never blinked, not once. And then at the far end of the car, I saw him, a tall man in a black suit and a wide-brimmed hat. His face was pale and thin, but his eyes, they shined like glass in the dark. He was looking straight at me. I looked away. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Battery 47%. The clock was stuck on 11:17 p.m. I glanced around. Every passenger was still frozen in place, but now they all seemed slightly turned, like their bodies had shifted half an inch closer to me. I whispered, "Where is this train going?" No one answered, but the man in the black hat spoke, his voice like gravel under ice.
It never mattered where, only when.
The train shuddered. The lights flickered hard. The windows turned pitch black, like the outside world had vanished. And then Slowly, the train stopped. The door slid open. A gust of cold air hit me like a wave of dead breath. I stepped out. The platform was ancient. The sign above was cracked and rusted. Eclipse Station, time unknown. The world outside looked off. The buildings were crooked and melted slightly at the edges. The sky was a strange shade of violet, like twilight had stretched too far. There were no cars, no people, no wind, not even a voice. I walked. There were clocks on every wall I passed. None of them moved. A newspaper sat on a bench. The front page headline read, "Local man returns, claiming he's from the future. Dies screaming, and followed me back." And below that, the date, October 1902. I backed away, and that's when I saw him. The man in the black hat, standing at the end of the street, smiling. He raised one hand and pointed, not at me, but behind me. I turned. There was a train, waiting. The doors were open, and so I ran back inside. This time the cart was empty, except for him. He sat in the middle row, and in front of him, on the seat, laid a small, folded piece of paper. He slid it towards me, and I opened it. It said, "You rode the train. That means it rode you. Something came back with you." In the corner of the paper, a clock drawn in black ink. All the numbers were gone. Only 11:17 remained. I blinked. I was back on the regular platform, and my train was arriving, and people were around me, talking, laughing, normal. I checked my phone. The battery was 47%, and the time was 11:17 p.m. Exactly the same, but something's wrong. That was 2 weeks ago, and since then, mirrors in my house don't show me blinking right. My reflection sometimes lags half a second behind. I hear footsteps at night, always stopping at exactly 11:17, and in the reflection of my TV, turned off, pitch black. I sometimes see a man in a black hat standing in the hallway behind me, watching. Last night, I checked my phone again. The photo folder had one new picture. I didn't take it. It showed me standing on the Eclipse Station platform, and behind me, far off but perfectly clear, he's there, smiling. I took a train that didn't exist. Now something that shouldn't exist is in my world, and I think it's just waiting for the right time. So, if you ever see a train that isn't on the map, not on the schedule, with no driver. Just, just don't get on it, because once it rides you, you, you don't get off alone.